Well, if you're on the minimum wage, working long hours to provide for your family, a 7% pay rise would make a huge difference. But if you're a small business trying to absorb rising costs and keep your doors open, a wage rise that big could spell the end. There's a decision coming soon, and there's a lot riding on it.
With our skies as busy as ever, Harry's job as an airport cleaner is too.
It is very hard for the cleaners. Plenty of people are flying in and out, and that's why it's a bit hard for us to keep it up.
The father of two works overtime and weekends just to provide his family with the bare essentials. An extra $56 in his weekly pay packet would be life-changing.
My family will be more happier than me. My family will be a family because now my kids are asking, Papa, please don't go to the job. We want to spend time with you.
You know, it would actually go a long way.
A 7% bonus for Carlos and his workmates can't come soon enough.
And especially for the hard work they put in, I believe they should be rewarded for that.
The 25-year-old minimum wage earner says he works as hard as anyone.
How important is it that people on minimum wage get looked after?
I think it's very important because at the end of the day, in this country, you want to be able to thrive. Most people tend to move to this country to thrive and build a better future for one another, or especially their family.
Well, it's like people treading water. If they don't get that 7% pay rise, they've got to work out what they cut back on even further.
Sally McManus runs the Australian Council of Trade Unions. She's fighting for an increase of $1.50 an hour for more than 2.5 million workers on minimum wage or award rates. The bump would see $812 per week become $869.
They absolutely need help. We absolutely, at this time, especially when you're seeing really big companies deliver those big profits, just a tiny little bit of those profits going to the people at the bottom is going to make a huge impact for them, but also for the overall economy.
But small business owners who are already feeling the pinch are terrified what a wage rise will do.
I know people are happy about it, but can't afford it. We really can't afford it.
Jen, Anthony and Hannah say they've all had to make changes to the way they operate.
Milk has gone up this week, bacon is up today. You know, one week we'll pay $1.50 for an avocado, the next week we'll pay $5 for an avocado. We don't change the prices on our menu for a smashed avo, so, you know, it's really hard on us because we still have to absorb the loss.
If you have to pay your staff more money, what ultimately has to give?
What's going to happen is I'll have to put the price list up, and I'm scared that if I do put the price list up, my clients are not going to be happy or not come back.
Hairdresser Anthony has pulled the plug on his dryer.
We're struggling as it is. We've got increase in electricity, increase in rent, increase in utilities, shampoos, conditioners. We've got water usage. That's a great impact on us. They're not going any cheaper.
22-year-old Hannah opened her restaurant 7 months ago.
It definitely adds up, especially because we do have so many staff.
Can you afford to pay your staff more money?
We'll have to jump up the menu prices just to be able to keep surviving as a business.
But Sally McManus says upping the pay of just a quarter of the nation's workforce will help, not hinder.
A bigger threat to them is workers having to cut back on what they're spending. That's going to have a much bigger impact on the overall economy.
The proposed minimum wage rise has sparked heated debate between economists. Some warn a 7% increase will make it impossible to contain inflation, which could tip Australia into a recession.
Look, every single year the minimum wage goes up, every single year, and we know what effect it has on inflation. Over the last 10 years, it's had really no impact at all.
Good afternoon, are you here?
It's a tricky balancing act between keeping businesses afloat and workers providing the basics for their families.
We're doing what we can to keep going because we love what we do.
Everyone just wants to be able to feel rich in some way, whether it's in the heart or in money.
You feel for all of them, don't you? Workers deserve it, but small business can't afford it. It's a balancing act. And the Fair Work Commission is expected to announce its decision on the minimum wage rise in coming days, and the RBA will make another interest rate announcement next Tuesday.